Eagles at Bears. Open Bears -5.5. All of the opening lines I use are Bet Online opening lines. I have a ton of respect for Bet Online being first to the market. Bet Online opened this at Bears -5.5. Now it's -6.5 across the board. Total opened at 42. Now a couple of 41.5s, mostly 41s, but a 40.5 just hit the board. Chicago weather on Sunday, cloudy. High of 39 Fahrenheit, low of 38 Fahrenheit, and very windy. 18-mile-per-hour wind. Well, this is the Super Bowl champs. And Big Dick Nick is rolling. Foles can handle cold weather better than Goff. Better than Goff, Whale Capper. Goff panics in the cold. Not Big Dick Nick in his Bible. Bears defense is tremendous. The Bears are a very scary team. You know, Akeem Hicks. I mean, you can go through this lineup of the Bears defense, and it's spectacular. But 6.5 points. I'm thinking of taking the Eagles here. Donnie, you're Philadelphia Eagles. Am I crazy?
No, look, the Eagles are going to be live in this game. There's something to be said about that. Championship pedigree. Nick Foles is going to be used to this game. Chicago Bears are a young team. Matt Nagy's never been in there. That all works against the Chicago Bears. They're fantastic at home, though. What, 7-1 on the season? You know, straight up. The only loss they had was that game against the New England Patriots. I believe Khalil Mack was on the shelf in that game. They gave up a defensive score and a special teams score in that football game to lose it. I'm a really big component of the Chicago Bears, but sometimes you have to look to see where the value is coming in at. Maybe the Chicago Bears, 4, 4.5, 5, 6 in that range, but now you're creeping towards 6.5 ranges. And there's an easy, my Chicago Bears is going to pass rush. But when you really break this down, the Eagles match up extremely well with the Chicago Bears. You're looking at a kick-ass pass rush. Is there one of the more top 5, top 3 offensive lines that you would not rather have than the Philadelphia Eagles to go up against and combat a nasty pass rush? And how about the RPO offense that the Eagles have designed to get the ball out quick so Nick Foles doesn't get sacked? What did he get sacked? 1 or 2 times over the past 3 weeks? He's barely been touched back there. That all works in the Eagles' favor. The one thing that's not going to work in the Eagles' favor is if it is really windy in Chicago, because the clunkers that we've seen from Nick Foles over the past couple of years are really cold temperatures and really high winds. Doesn't have a cannon like Carson Wentz does. He's more of a, I'm going to let my wide receiver go out and take it, which is the resurgence of Alshon Jeffrey, who's a great 50-50 ball player. Carson Wentz will throw a laser beam in there when Nick Foles is going to say, you know what, I'll throw it up there. You one-on-one, go up and make the play yourself. That'll play into this ball game. The one thing I'm having a tough time with is the dominance of the Chicago Bears at home, winning 7-1 at home, average wins by over double digits at home. But if you take out the one game that the Philadelphia Eagles played with Jimmy Smith off the street as your 19th cornerback fresh off of a beer truck, that's not going to be the case when they got waxed in that game. But outside of that game, even if you include that in, look at the Eagles on the road this year. The average score, 23-23 on the road. The Eagles aren't getting blown. The Eagles might not win this game. They ain't getting blown out in this game.
Woo! I like it. I like it a lot. Well, Capper, can't wait to hear your breakdown, my man.
Well, I may be a dead man walking on this one because, number one, I'm going against Nick Foles, which portends poorly for me. And number two, I'm going against Donnie in a Bears game, which portends poorly for me. So I'm looking forward to, maybe I'll just count my money on the first 3 games of the weekend and take the L on the 4th game. But the way I see this stacking up is a Bears or nothing. I only see a Philly cover if they pull off a miracle backdoor here. I love the way that Nagy has continued to evolve his offense. He's not trotting out the same stuff. Jim Schwartz is going to have a very difficult time predicting what plays are what plays are coming when. The Eagles lost another cornerback in Sidney Jones last week. They're going to be vulnerable to the type of passes that Mitch Trubisky can complete. I'm hopeful that we see just another sterling first quarter script from Matt Nagy that puts some pressure on the Eagles early in this one, so that the Bears defense can pin their ears back and really come after Nick Foles. Nick Foles, we know, a little banged up, not entirely sure if he's going to be out there trying to take chances or if he's going to be hearing footsteps a little bit. I know the Eagles' offensive line performed extremely well in the playoffs last year, but at times this year they have not impressed me. The fact that they're effectively a one-dimensional team, via only gaining yards and completing first downs through the passing game, is trouble against the Bears defense that's pretty dynamic. I would look for an Eagles team total under here. I kind of like the full game under here. The fact that this is Mitch Trubisky's first playoff game has me a little spooked that he's not going to be, sterling in the red zone. Maybe he turns it over once. Maybe they settle for field goals a couple times. They ought to be getting touchdowns. And so the full game under makes some sense to me. It's low, but I think it's still live. This is the kind of game where I feel like it's 24-10 going into the late portions of the game. And if you're holding an Eagles plus 6.5, you're hoping for a backdoor touchdown and that Doug Peterson elects to go for 2 instead of kicking the extra point and losing by 7. It's just 24-13, 24-14 kind of finale here as far as I can handicap it. And, hopefully the Bears don't spoil the end of my wild card weekend.
Wow. I'm surprised, too, that I'm leaning towards making a move on the Eagles. I did not expect it, but after capping the game, breaking it down with different people, I just feel like it's too many points. A couple things I want to ask you, Donnie. One, Brendan W. says, Peters is made of glass. He'll be out of the game by the second quarter, and the Bears will feast. Colmore says the left side of the Eagles' offensive line is very mediocre. Mack should destroy Peters. And what news are you getting out of Philly regarding Foles' ribs?
Yeah, Foles is fine. I mean, X-rays after the game, bruised ribs. That's pain medication. One quick shot before the game. You don't feel anything with that type of injury. It's not a displaced fracture where every time you move, it's bad. So he should be fine. And again, we're not talking about a quarterback that gets lit up. Like Deshaun Watson gets sacked like 5 times a game. They barely even get to Nick Foles. But there's something to be said about Jason Peters, who tends to come in and out. But ever since Nick Foles took control of this offense, I mean, they moved it with ease against the Rams. They moved it with ease against a really good Houston team. And also last week, putting up 24 points and just stalling the game out and throwing for a record 25 completions during that game on a road win against the Washington Redskins. When I just look at the Chicago Bears, I love the Chicago Bears. It's almost like if I could have a B team, that would be my B team. But when you look at Maserati Mitch back there in the pocket, the offense just isn't very good. I mean, we look at the final scores of some of these games. The Rams, they have 294 total yards. They play Green Bay, a hellaciously bad defense. 232 yards passing. San Francisco, trash team, 235. Last week, Minnesota, 163. They just don't have the firepower to say, we're going to detonate this football game. I think the Eagles will hang around in this game because Mitch, if you watch him play, who I like as a young quarterback, he will evolve. He throws 2 passes every game that you scratch your head and say, did he think the Eagles were the offensive wide receiver in this game? He is going to do that in this game, in his first game, unless he gets a dominant performance on the ground. He's going to turn the football over in this game.
I love hearing your words and seeing the fear come across Whale Capper's face. The same fear that he put on my face when he broke down the Cowboys-Seahawks game. It's coming right back to him, and it makes me feel very good. Whale Capper, God, I love capping with you. I can't wait to hear you're back at us with this game. I can't wait to hear how you close this one up. What are you thinking here?
Okay.
After hearing Donnie talk.
Star of the game, Tariq Cohen. The Eagles don't have a player that matches up well with Tariq Cohen at all. Matt Nagy figured out what he had in Tariq Cohen about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and he bottled it up. He hit a couple of grand slams in that game against the Giants. He used him when he needed to against the Vikings to get that win at home. And I would not be surprised whatsoever if Sunday afternoon is the Tariq Cohen show. He will be Mitch's safety blanket. He will guide him through this very, very tough situation of your first ever playoff performance. And the Bears, if the Bears can get to 20 points, they move on to the next round. And honestly, the Bears to me are on a road to the NFC Championship game in New Orleans. I think they match up extremely well with the Rams. The points that you make about Nick Foles performing well against the Rams, throw that out. That the Rams defense played so horrifically that day. That it was like a Big 12 defense out there. And then he looked great against the tough defense in the Houston Texans, but Texans weren't playing for much that day. That was at home. You put Nick Foles in a situation where he's in cold weather, windy conditions. Like you mentioned, he does not perform well in the wind. Akeem Ayers lands on him one time in the first quarter, and all of a sudden the pain medicine and the ribs start to wear off, and he's thinking, oh, now I gotta keep an eye on my blind side with Khalil Mack coming around full speed. Little things like that I feel like are going to make the difference here and give the Bears defense the advantage to really put the heat on the Eagles offense. And if they come away with 17 points, I think that's a victory for the Eagles. Like a motivational victory, not an actual win. But I think you're going to see this play out. Not too differently than the first Bears-Vikings game on Sunday Night Football, where the Bears dictated the entirety of the contest, and it took a miracle kind of last-second touchdown aided by the refs for the Vikings even to get inside the teaser leg there. I just feel like this is a nice kind of crowning achievement for the Bears. Excellent season under first-year coach Matt Nagy.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.